Next to Borobudur, Prambanan is the other World Heritage Site in Java. This is not only the largest temple complex in the island, but in terms of its artistic value and profusion of sculptures and carvings, also represents the peak of Hindu architecture. Prambanan, only 17 kilometers from Yogyakarta, was built around 850 AD, during the rule of the second Mataram and the Sailendra Dynasty. At the time, the two families that originally followed their own traditions of Buddhism and the Hindu faith practically united or merged through marital relations, and this could explain the coexistence of Buddhist and Hindu temples that were built at the same time. Upon entering the complex at the main gate, the 47-meter jagged tower of the most gigantic Hindu temple dedicated to the god Shiva, the candi Shiva Mahadeva, will draw your attention. The main temple of the Hindu Great Trinity, or the Trimurti, of Brahma the Creator, Vishnu the Preserver, and Shiva the Destroyer, stands on a slightly elevated platform. The latter dominates the area from the centre. The Shiva temple includes 5 rooms. The 4 smaller ones face the 4 cardinal directions, while the largest one occupies the centre. Here, inside the temple, stands the 3-meter tall statue of the supreme deity of Shiva, with the typical attributes, such as the skulls, the crescent moon crown, the third eye on his forehead, and the 4 arms. The god stands on a yoni-shaped lotus flower. In the smaller halls you will find sculptures of other popular Hindu deities, such as the elephant-headed Ganesha and goddess Durga. North of the main Shiva temple, in the temple of Vishnu, the statue of the preserving god occupies the single smaller hall in it that functions as a shrine. In a symmetrical fashion on the southern side, in the shrine of Brahma's temple, the statue of the creating god receives those praying to him. The reliefs decorating the bases of the Shiva and Brahma temples depict the story of the ancient Hindu epic, the Ramayana, with the legendary figures of King Rama, his wife Sita, and Hanuman, the ape god who rescues the abducted Sita. At the time of full moons, there is a regular performance of the Ramayana ballet on the open-air stage near the temple complex. The show features around 200 dancers and gamelan musicians who perform for the international audience. The reliefs of the Vishnu temple recount the deeds of the god Krishna. The smaller temples and shrines surrounding the main temple are usually devoted to the special animals that carry the gods. The bull Nandi is Shiva's, the swan Hamsa is Brahma's, while the eagle Garuda is Vishnu's eternal companion. By the way, Garuda is the name and the symbol of the national airline of Indonesia. Prambanan flourished for 2 centuries. Then, when the royal house moved to East Java, the population and the believers also abandoned the area and the temple started to decay. A big, destructive earthquake in the middle of the 16th century caused further serious damage to the buildings. In subsequent centuries, the locals started to remove the collapsed stones, blocks and carvings, which they used as building materials for their own homes. The excavation of the ruin area and the removal of the tropical growth began in 1885. The actual reconstruction started in 1918, but World War II interrupted the work not much later. After that, the renovation of the temples took decades. Originally, 244 Hindu temples stood here in a geometrical layout. The efforts to reconstruct the central 8 largest temples and 8 other smaller temples were unsuccessful, and as a result, together with Borobudur, the UNESCO also listed Prambanan as a World Heritage Site in 1991. In 2006, another earthquake caused serious damage again. The sculptures and carvings fell off from a number of temples, and a situation called for an immediate repair of disaster damages. After waving goodbye to the main Hindu temples, you can take a battery-powered mini-train to the nearby Candi Siwu. the main Buddhist temple complex of Prambanan, about a kilometre away. Originally, there were 240 small guard temples forming 4 circles around the main temple that was built around 850 AD, but most of them were destroyed. The shrine of the renovated main temple might have been home to the bronze god statues once. At the entrance of the temple complex, scary statues stand guard, also to serve as a deterrent. On Buddhist holidays, believers or monks wearing yellow or reddish-brown robes arrive here even from countries afar. On these occasions, the entrance and the surrounding statues are decorated with flowers and flags.